Hi, my name is Randall Crippen. Today I'll be going through the Azure calculators that are available both online and the Excel-based Azure Open calculator that you will find on Ready to Go Marketing. First, you'll see the Azure web-based calculator, which you can find at azure.microsoft.com, and we'll go through virtual machines here for you. So first off, you scroll down onto the virtual machine and select the instance size that you want to price out. In this case, we're going to be selecting an A2 with 2 cores and 3.5 gigs of RAM and 2 instances. So if you move the slide bar over, you'll see it comes out to $267.84. But that's not the only thing that actually makes up a virtual machine's price. So we'll scroll down a little further here, and we're going to give an estimate or a guesstimate on bandwidth. I'm going to put about 50 gigs here. That's actually probably overkill, but as you can see, the bandwidth really is not a huge determining factor on the price. So in this case, we come out to a total of $273.24. And due to the limitations on this particular calculator, I can't add other things to that if I want to change an instance. So I'm actually going to copy that into Notepad here and go move on to the other components that make that up. The other things that you'll want to look at for a virtual machine is storage. In this case, I'll be selecting geo-redundant block blob storage, and I'll be putting on 1 terabyte for this virtual machine. Note that you can use the left and right arrow keys on your keyboard to get a more refined search on the slider. You'll see I scroll down here and my total on storage was $48, so I'll copy that over into Notepad and put a label on it so that I know what that is for. Lastly, I'll go to the full calculator, and here I'm going to be adding a virtual network. In most cases, the customers that I've spoken to are doing some type of hybrid deployment, so you'll want to account for that gateway being open for 744 hours, which is 1 month. So if I scroll down through the full calculator, we'll find our virtual networks. And static and dynamic routing is fine unless you need a high performance gateway. In most cases, this will be sufficient. And we'll move this over to 744 hours, which comes out to about $27 a month. Well, lastly, we'll copy that over into Notepad. And that is how you would price out a Azure virtual machine and the components that go along with it. You can simply add up those totals and then get a quote from your Microsoft team at Tech Data. And now I'll be going through the Azure Open calculator that's available on Ready to Go Marketing. Here you'll see it asks me a few basic questions. How often do I want to bill my customers? Do I want pricing on Azure Backup? Do I want pricing on site recovery, Azure VMs, whether it'll be a production or a development environment, and whether my application workload is going to be using SQL. Lastly, the operating system I select will be Windows, and you press the button and it'll give you a customized scenario based on your answers to those questions. The nice thing about this calculator is you can simply enter the amount of data that you need, the number of instances you need, and select instances from a drop-down, really allowing you to put everything all in one screen, all in one quote, so that you can get a nice pricing summary at the tab that I'll show you in a little bit here. So in this case, we'll do just like we did with our web-based calculator, but in this case I can simply put 2 instances in the instance box, and I scroll down a little bit. We already had put the backup in the top, but now we can add our geo-redundant storage, which is what we did in the web-based version. So in this case, we'll clear out the locally redundant storage, and we'll add 1 terabyte of geo-redundant storage. We'll scroll down just a little bit more here and we'll do the same estimate we did on our outbound data transfers, which was 50 gigabytes. And as you can see, our VPN gateway hours are already in there because Microsoft put this together with the assumption that in most cases you'll need some kind of VPN to connect to your Azure infrastructure. So once you've done this, you'll see that we have our estimated price of $542.54 per month. Now that we've input all that, we can actually go to the preferred scenario summary, and it'll give you a nice little snippet of retail pricing that you could then in turn send to or show to your customer and go over with them. Now you also notice there's two more tabs on this. There's actually a full pricing calculator similar to what you would see on the website. So I'm actually going to go through this same scenario using this just so that you can see you don't necessarily have to do those questions in the beginning. You can use this, and if you notice, all those icons at the top of the screen are actually hyperlinked. So in this case, I clicked on the virtual network icon, and I'll add in my data transfers and my VPN gateway hours. I'd already put in the instance sizes at the top, and next I'll be going through looking for my storage, since every virtual machine will need some type of storage attached to it. So having a little trouble finding the icon here, but as you can see, if you mouse over them, they are all, they will give you a description of what that icon means. So just going to go ahead and scroll up here. We'll add in our backup, which was 750 gigs. And the reason I did that was actually because they estimate that between deduplication and compression, that you'll be looking at about 75% of your raw storage space. Of course, this depends on the number of copies you keep and things of that nature. And at the end, you click on the pricing summary tab, and this pricing summary is independent from your preferred scenarios calculator, which will give you a nice little snippet that you can then in turn send to your customer. Thanks for watching, and good luck selling Azure, and reach out to your Tech Data Microsoft team anytime you need help, and we're happy to go through it with you personally. Thanks.